Hello everyone, Verb here. I haven't used a Scratchpad theme in a while. This template is used for when I need to talk about things not directly related to Uma Musume. And today, this is going to serve as the channel trailer. If you are a longtime subscriber, you may know some of the early parts of this, but for you new viewers, I want to set some expectations because I believe that, hey, my content is in a particular niche. It's good for some people, it's bad for some people, and that's perfectly okay. As long as I'm providing a service to people that helps them in their pursuit of knowledge, I believe that I've reached some goals. So I will be going over expectations, what to expect, as well as what some goals for this channel are. In particular, if you are not new here, you may find some value in the template section. So let's begin with who I am. I am Burb. I am a content creator at this point in the Uma Musume space. It was not always intended to be this, but here we are. My background is in engineering. I was kind of got my start on the scene because I did some math videos, and that's what some people has pinned me as. I technically use math as a means to solve problems. I like to follow the engineering process that I do in real life, which is I find a problem, I then propose a solution, and then the conglomerate of people and colleagues discuss said solution. A lot of that requires math, but math is a means to an end. My start was in character guides and Champions Meeting guides, particularly for my Uma Musume clan, and it turns out that just people enjoyed watching, in particular, the Champions Meeting guides. Most likely you are coming from a Champions Meeting guide, and that's perfectly okay. But basically I have two goals at all times that I'm working towards. One, to give people a great comprehensive guide on Champions Meeting, the current one coming up, as well as creating an encyclopedia of Umas. The Uma part is not necessarily as possible. I sort of do that part for the love of the game because I do enjoy looking at the characters. Obviously, the Champions Meeting guides are the primary content of this channel, and so I continue to do those as well. I believe these two will be a mainstay on this channel. Each CM I do try to go through an overview that goes through the stat requirements, the track overviews, some parent inherits just to get you started with parent building, as well as some general deck building, as well as some observations from my early testing. This is released always on registration day on the previous CM because that follows my personal anti-frustration plan of starting the next CM season on registration day of the previous CM. I then go through every single role guide. At the moment, we're starting with Pace Chasers because I am not the biggest frontrunner player. I am the backliner. I'm a backline player. So I try to go through the different roles, give them the specific skills to look for and where to find them on cards, as well as try to give a comprehensive overview of characters and what they give to achieve your goals. And then finally, when the CM is over, I try to do a debrief or a review to go and review how my personal experience with the CM was. Otherwise, there's a lot more other content on this channel. The content that I try to provide is lecture style content. A lot of it is very long. I understand it, it's not for everybody. I do have some shorter content, some 10 to 15 minute things built in, but mostly we're generally trying to be in the 20 to 30 minute range, almost like you're sitting in a college classroom. These lectures have breaks. As you can see, they're not perfect because I try to do them all in one take. Some minor editing is done if there's a thing that is egregious that I need to fix, but there will be times where I say oohs and ums. There will be times where I take water breaks, just like right now when my voice is dying. And overall, I feel like it's fine. I'm trying to teach you in a way that is organic. And that's good for some people and bad for some people, like I said. There may be mistakes because I am just a person. I have a little bit of a pet peeve about appeals to authority, and sometimes I do make them, and I try to catch myself when I do, but I truly am just as much just a person than everyone else is. I just happen to look at the different resources we have and try to compile them for people. So please take what I'm saying with a grain of salt and use it as an addition to your perspective. This is critical thinking. This is the most important thing that I try to teach is that, hey, I'm one person. Every other Uma content creator is another person. You eventually need to think for yourself. So that is what the goal of all this content is. Again, sometimes it's very long. It's also what I like to describe as high effort content. Sometimes it just takes me long to make these videos. I try to do my best. It doesn't always get up to par, but I do at least try to get there. As for when to expect videos, if I have something to say on a day, I say it. If there's a topic that I try to do, I do it, but I don't just post to try to post. It's been daily for the last bit, but it's not always that case. Usually there's an off season between the champions meetings, and usually some shorter videos are placed in between the longer CM guides. The easiest way to explain all the side content that isn't champions meeting guides and character guides are going through each one of these templates. If you are a subscriber, this is the time to tune back in, because this explains what the content that you have been seeing. Every single champions meeting guide has its own template. This is how I organize it. So Aries Cup, as you can see, is this sort of red template. Back when I did Aquarius Cup, it was the blue template. These should remain consistent when they cycle around over and over again for the different tracks. And then if there's something that I need to say that is CM adjacent, I use this light blue and dark blue theme to talk usually about math related topics that are also directly related to the current champions meeting. For example, when I needed to review the recoveries for the current Pisces Cup, I used this CM adjacent template. The character guides, like I said, are in this green and gray template, and if I'm reviewing a particular card, I use this black, white, and green template, usually with the image of the card I'm reviewing. Usually this is a heavy math-related video that is usually comparing one or two or multiple cards, specifically trying to compare and contrast and see which one is the better option to pull is usually the goal of said videos. If it's the red and gold template, normally I'm talking about the gacha system, usually using the gacha math. These are usually some sort of link to actual real life or real money templates, okay? If you see this light blue template, usually with the dark blue right side, it doesn't be used very often. I'm usually saying something that I have found, but I'm not 100% confident in, but I usually accompany this with a demonstration. So for example, when I was talking about overdoing speed and running like 4 speed cards for demonstration purposes, I wasn't fully confident on it, but I showed a run in this video to say, hey, in your A, you could consider running 4 speed cards and 2 wit cards so that you could race more and get a lot more skill points. That was the purpose of that video. It's something I don't have the theory based on, but I use demonstration to prove it instead. If you see this black and red template, has been used for a while, I'm directly talking about a specific mechanic in the game, and also sometimes it's using this sort of astral template as well. These are sort of older templates, so they may become more consistent over time. The flat yellow or flat beige template is sort of reserved for schedule breakdowns, which I may or may not do every month, depending on if people enjoy them. And then finally, this sort of black bordered one, if you haven't figured it out by now, we're usually doing something silly at this point, so don't take it 100% seriously if you see this black bordered template. Finally, what I find my favorite template is this Scratchpad template where I can freeform talk. Usually these are not math videos, sometimes they are. A lot of times it's just me talking about the channel or my life experiences, etc. These are some of my favorite videos to do because I believe that basically math and psychology and my own personal experiences all sort of mold who I am, and they allow me to demonstrate things better than if I just were talking strictly math or strictly talking feels-based analysis. So these videos, I find some of my favorite videos to make, some of my best videos, usually are talking about frustrations and how to counter frustrations and enjoy the game more on not necessarily a competitive level, but on more of a lived experience level. I hope that I explained that properly. It's kind of difficult to explain. I may just post an example in the top right corner of an older version of it because they truly are just their own different beast. Again, like I said, I am just one person. I'm one CC that just sort of talks to a screen and tries to provide something that is useful. So please put me into your rotation of other content creators and form your own opinions. That's the most important thing. I am on a nonstop pursuit of learning. That's just the way that I am built. That has given me success in my own life. And I hope that, hey, I can at least help you in your pursuit of yours. Some more backbone stuff. As far as streaming is concerned, I've done a couple of streams recently, and I know it's been like fairly often, but that's just because I've had time. I do have a day job, and so streaming generally is not what I'm really about, but I will do it if I have something relevant. It's sort of the same thing with these videos. If I have something relevant to show, I might just do one, or if I just need to de-stress, I may just do one and chill. Feel free to ask questions in the stream. I'm a bad streamer. I'm generally somewhat of an introvert, which means that I kind of need things to talk about, and I can't really fill air very well. So feel free to talk questions when you are in the stream. I try to answer them best I can. Other than that, the only other reason why I don't really stream is because it usually relies on the generosity of others compared to just standard, YouTube revenue. This is not like, I don't need this to live, but I do try to treat this as a business, and I prefer just the providing of a service rather than relying on the generosity, which it is appreciated when it does happen. It just doesn't need to be the primary focus, of course. That being said, to go the other direction, memberships are available. Like I said, they are not required, and they are particularly built to have not like the greatest value because, like I said, I don't want to create like two-tier content. All it is, hey, right now the lower version has some emojis, and the upper version, I will say thank you essentially. I'm reserving it to the overview video if it gets too unruly, but right now I've been doing on every single one. So those are available if you want to just support the channel, but they're absolutely not required. You get all the content just from watching, right? Last thing to note, this is what a lot of people have been waiting on. It was requested I make a Discord. Now, I'm going to say this. I have a day job. I'm an engineer. I am not a community moderator. I do not really know what I'm doing. So it's a pretty bare bones server at the moment. It'll grow over time, but it is available. So feel free to join it if you wish. There is a series of rules that you will have to accept. So when you get in, you will see the rules channel, and you'll see the channel and rules channel, and you have to accept it to be it. There's not many rules. It's pretty bare bones, but I've been told a lot of people, just like comments people say it, they want a community to talk to each other. Will try to go and be around in it, but we shall see how the Discord goes. If it's bad, I will remove it, but for now, I feel like we are in a good state where I feel like, generally everyone's pretty good with each other. So just stay kind to each other, and I think we won't have any problems. So I hope you stick around. If you've seen this, I know, like I said, this is about how the videos go. So they're pretty raw and uncut. I probably won't edit this at the end. Appreciate it. Take care. Good luck. Burb out.